Good day, folks. Well, listen, we really appreciate everybody joining. It means a lot to us that you take the time to connect here. Although we've been really fortunate to continue making equipment available with convenient online tools, we really miss being in person with our customers. So thanks again for attending. My name is Warren Wechter, and I have the privilege of helping our inspections, setup, and administrative teams across Canada as the Vice President of Operations. I've been with Ritchie Brothers Auctioneers for over 20 years in a variety of roles. This is the second of 3 virtual information events leading up to our big May auction in Edmonton. Yesterday, we kicked things off with a series, providing some information on cross-border shopping. Tomorrow, we're going to provide some information on fleet management tools that Ritchie Brothers offers. While all 3 sessions are being held in conjunction with our big Edmonton event, I think the information is something that you can use across any of our platforms or within your business. I encourage you to take advantage of all 3. Today, I'm joined by a couple of our own team members who I will introduce in a moment. They're going to take us back to the basics as we discuss how you can take advantage of the information Ritchie Brothers gathers so you can bid with confidence. We'll describe the services available and how to leverage them if you can't inspect equipment in person. Things like equipment demonstration videos, FaceTime inspections, asset detail pages, and more. We'll also run through inspection tips for those bidders that are able to attend the site in person. I was recently speaking with a long-time and very active customer who wasn't aware of some of the description attributes that are readily available on our website. We want to make sure you are aware of everything we offer, as well as what you can do if you still have questions, even after taking advantage of those resources. It's very convenient to buy equipment online, especially when you can be confident about what you're bidding on. We'll provide some tips on what to look for if you are able to inspect on your own. It's all about making sure that what you're bidding on suits your needs. If you have any questions during the next 25 minutes, please feel free to post them using the chat function. We'll either answer them live or respond later by email, depending on the time available in today's session. Without further delay, I'm excited to pass things over to Lyle Megaw, who is our Director of Operations for Western Canada. He'll lead us through some of the resources available to you at our upcoming Edmonton event. After Lyle speaks, we're going to hear from Marty Lilugas, our Director of Inspection Programs. He's going to provide some tips on what to look for when you're inspecting equipment for yourself. Over to you, Lyle.
Great, thanks, Warren, and welcome everyone. We want to provide some valuable information on what to look for when browsing our listings online. We are very excited with some new features we've recently rolled out to enhance our visits to our website. And as Warren mentioned later in this presentation, we'll also provide some valuable tips on what to look for. So we're going to take a quick look at the basics of the Ritchie Brothers sites and our applications. Of course, we have a great RB app. Download that. You're eligible then to register for the sale. There's lots of good information on the app. And we're fully mobile as an organization. Some people prefer to work at their desktop, but others really love the mobile function that we have. One of the features as well that you may not be familiar with is that you're able to zoom in on our photos. So we'll go into a little bit more detail about the number of photos that we take. But the nice feature of this is you're able to see a large picture of the asset, and then you're able to zoom in by expanding that photo, which you may not find on a lot of online applications. Of course, we always have the basic information that you're going to find, the year, make, and model, and relevant information, hour meters and mileage, along with the serial number or the vehicle identification number. But there's a whole host of other information that's also available on the website, and we're going to go into some of those details in a little bit as well. Supporting documentation is another great feature that we have on the Ritchie Brothers site. Things such as Carfax information. A lot of our consigners will provide detailed work order history of their assets. We'll also provide DOT certification information that you'll find. So there's a whole host of information that's available. We provide as much detail as we can to make the buying experience that much better. And we'll show you where to find that information as well. You're also able to add specific items that you're interested in to a watch list, which allows you to track their progress through the sale. And then you're also able to, once you're registered and linked into our site, able to get historical selling prices of some of those assets to compare numbers and to give yourself a frame of reference for when you start to bid. So as you can see here, this is a typical listing page of our upcoming auction. Lots of information, as I've already covered, the basics, hours, identification numbers, where it's located. You'll also notice that there's a priority bid button on here. Priority bid is a feature that's been utilized by us over the past year. It's a great feature. You're able to bid in advance. Our priority bid is open live now. It opens Saturday. You're able to scroll through the assets, place an advance bid, and you'll receive regular email notifications of what's transpiring on that. If you're outbid, you will get an opportunity to rebid. And if you're the highest bidder prior to that auction item selling, your bid is then pulled into the sale as part of the live selling event. So it's a great feature that a lot of our buyers are starting to utilize. Next page. So this is some of the information detail that I'd previously spoken about. You can see as you scroll down into this section of the detail page, there's lots of good information. The tabs at the top provide the detailed equipment information, allows you to browse items that are similar to this asset that you're looking at. There's links to our Ritchie Brothers Financial Services team in terms of financing. You're also able to connect to our logistics team if you're interested in shipping information. And then as you scroll down the page, you'll see a number of hyperlinks that are colored in blue. All of these you're able to click on and it provides additional detail. So we can go into the operator station, we can look at the engine, undercarriage, attachments, and you'll see the specific pictures related to that area. So not only will you get the normal four corners, but then there's detailed pictures provided to give you an additional detail level of that asset. You'll also notice the supporting documents feature that I just previously spoken about, work order information, Carfax information, DOT or in Alberta CVIF information is going to be located here, and there's hyperlinks that you can actually go in and view the documents. Also, the detailed information that you'll find, what comes with that. So the detailed specs, in this case on this excavator, tells you it's coming with a quick coupler and a bucket, the size of the stick, counterweight removal. So lots of additional information. If an EPA label is present, if you are an out-of-country buyer, that's where this information will be displayed as well. So what are we doing new at this auction? One thing that we've done as an enhancement that we first piloted in our Orlando sale in February this year that we're really excited about is we're doing a 360-degree video walk around. So the very first picture when you visit the site on a specific asset will be a detailed video walk around. So you'll be able to see the unit running, you'll be able to see the color of the smoke, you'll be able to see it functioning. It's not a ton of detail, but at least gives you a 30 or 40 second snippet of that vehicle or that piece of equipment in operation, which is a great enhancement. And we'll have about 2,500 videos completed for this sale, which is a new feature for us at Ritchie Brothers. As well, if you want additional video information, we've set up a web email as well. You're able to email us at the email address that's listed on the screen here. We can go out and provide more detailed video walkarounds for you and are able to provide you that information back in an email. As well, we've partnered with third-party mechanical contractors. There's a number that we use on a regular basis that if you're a regular visitor to the site that you'll see in our at our auction. As well, we partner with our OEM dealers. So if you're looking for a really detailed equipment inspection, this is a paid-for service. Contact the site or visit our website at rbauction.com and those contact numbers will be provided for you. Those contractors are here on site, and we'd be happy to provide you additional detail information on the piece of equipment that you're interested in. And of course, we always have our staff on hand, able to answer questions on specific machines. The phone number is posted. Lots of people are interested in dimensions for assets if they're shipping them. We're able to provide that for you. So don't hesitate to contact the site if there's something more that you're interested in or more information that you need. And as well, the yard is open. So some people may ask, because of COVID, is there inspections available in person? And absolutely, we're wide open for sure. We do have lots of COVID protocols in place. Safety is number one on our site. This is our second May event with dealing with COVID. I think we've got a pretty good process and protocol in place to make sure you feel comfortable here. So no appointments are necessary. You can come down to the site on Sparrow Drive in Nisku. We do have direct access to the yard from the parking lot with an information booth set up outside. You're able to avoid coming into the building as there is limited access. You're able to head right out into the yard. We have over 200 acres available, so we can put a lot of people on the site as well and ensure that there's social distancing. We have masks available, we have hand sanitizer, and we have hand washing stations as well when you come in if you're visiting the site in person. We did open wide for previews starting this past Monday, April 26th. Parking is limited and it will get busier as we get closer towards the weekend. So I would advise, if you are coming down, plan your trip early, but we're open from 8 to 5 every day. And the best inspection always is the one that you can do in person. There are no on-site shuttles, so it's a bit of a hike, but we do have a couple of entrances where you want to park at, depending on the assets that you're interested in viewing. And there is no off-site parking. But so, as I mentioned earlier, plan your visit early. And as always, if there's information you're looking for, we're here to help. So contact the site or visit our website. There's lots of good information on both. We hope this has been helpful, and we'd be happy to assist you if you have any questions. Like I said, if you want to come on down, feel free to come on down to the site and inspect the equipment in person. If you're not able to, though, we're going to provide some additional information, and I'm going to turn it over to Marty Lelugas, who's going to walk you through some inspection tips. Take it away, Marty.
Thank you, Lyle. I am Marty Lelugas, the Director of Non-Auction Inspection Programs for Ritchie Brothers Inspection Services. Ritchie Brothers inspects more than 100,000 pieces of equipment each year for a variety of purposes. Of course, the detailed equipment inspection associated with machines on site that Lyle was just speaking of. You've got online inspections, the ironclad inspection attached to those marketplaces, appraisal inspections and inspections for the division that I oversee, which tend to be for off-lease repos or trades and other purposes. So you add all that up, you get more than 100,000 inspections a year. Our team around the globe is experts in the field of inspecting equipment and providing the best possible information that our buyers and our customers can use. So to that end, today I asked some of those folks, and I'd specifically like to shout out a couple of them, Quinn Fisher and Mike Gaskell, for their help. But I asked the equipment experts who do these inspections every day around the globe to give us some tips on what to look for if you're able to visit the site yourself and have a look at some of these machines that you may be interested in purchasing. So before I dig too deep into the tips, I think it's important to note that you should understand the wear points of any kind of machine that you're looking to purchase, particularly if it's the type of machine that you don't have a lot of experience with before. So do your research, understand what you're looking at ahead of time, know where things can go wrong on these type of machines commonly, and look for that when you're on site. You'll see a common thread here in these tips as I get through the bullet points, that the concept that we're trying to drive home here is look for clues that indicate how well the machine was cared for, and clues that might point to information that you can't gather from just the age of the machine, right? The mileage or the hours. So we're trying to give you a few tips here to dig a little bit deeper and get the best possible value for your buck when you're looking for a machine. So The first one, obviously, heavy rust or corrosion. And this kind of speaks to both the geography of the machine and the use case of the machine. Now, it's not always going to be possible to determine either of those pieces of information, but you can look on the machine and kind of look for some clues. You know, was the machine used for, you know, did it haul corrosive material, or was it working, you know, in a gravel pit or in sand? You know, sand is going to have a different kind of wear on tires and tracks than other types of surfaces. Was it in a high humidity area versus a low humidity area? Was it in a cold weather state versus a warm weather state or province? Obviously, these are all valuable pieces of information to know, and if you can't know them before going in, look for some of these clues. So heavy rust or corrosion would point towards a machine, obviously in a use case in cold weather. Ellen, if you could flip to the next one. Then you want to look for things that are beyond what we would call normal wear and tear. Obviously, when you're dealing with used equipment, be it a truck, a farm tractor, any piece, you know, a wheel loader, any type of equipment is going to have wear and tear. It's used machines. Obviously, stuff is going to be not in mint condition. But what we're looking for here are signs beyond what we would consider normal wear and tear that might indicate the machine's previous application, as I just spoke to, moving rock or dirt, blasting, demolition, etc., or might point to some other problem with the machine that is not easy to spot, you know, when you just do a visual inspection from outside of the machine. Check under the hood for indications of previous repairs to fiberglass. This is particularly applicable on transportation equipment, but it can be applied to almost anything. Orange peel or fish eye in the paint, and there's a couple pictures there that show some examples of either poor paint repairs or this fish eye or orange peel. These are indicators that the body of the machine has undergone repairs. So if you're standing, you know, 20 feet back, you might think, wow, this machine looks like it's in great shape. You come in a little bit closer, you might see some of these indicators that could point to, well, maybe it's not quite as in as great of shape as you had initially thought. So again, we're just looking for indicators that might point to something so that you get the best value and the machine is maximizing the use case for you. Ellen, if you could go to the next slide. Track machines. You know, when it comes to sprockets, this is going to be something that you can see inside of the track. Sharp equals heavy wear. So that's a picture there of a sprocket that's been worn pretty heavily. If you see those sharp edges, then you know, that might point to some other wear and tear deeper inside the machine. On machines with tires, obviously look for wear and tear, cuts, scrapes, gouges. Anything greater than 1/4 inch is likely to be a sign of a problem. Again, we know they're used machines, there's normal wear and tear, tires aren't going to be in mint condition, but greater than 1/4 inch, you might be looking at something that could be a problem then or present a problem down the line. So that's something to look for. Recap tires, you know, tires will get recapped and reused. So you want to look for indicators that may have happened. This could give you a clue to the remaining life on the tire that you're looking at. There's various codes and stamps and other indicators put on these tires that can point to recaps. We've got a few examples in the photographs there, but just take a closer look at the tires to see, are these the original virgin tires? Are these recap tires? Might give you a clue as to remaining life there. Next slide, please. Fluid fill caps, especially the under engine oil cap. Remove these if it's possible and just take a look inside. These are a couple examples, one of coolant contamination inside of the oil in that left-hand picture, and then same thing in the right-hand picture, and that's what the cap itself might look like. So again, if you're able to look at this, you know, if you're able to get up close and touch the machine, this is a great way to see, you know, how much life might be left in that engine, or if there's any other indicator that might be pointing to something that's not really obvious when you're looking at the machine from the outside. Next slide. And again, let's compare the wear and tear inside the cabin or inside the cockpit of the machine to the age and likely use case of that machine. If minor things have been well cared for, odds are the owner took care of the major mechanical too, right? So here we're talking about, look at the seats. Are there burns? Are there rips? Are there other indicators that the machine was maybe not taken care of as well as you might have liked? Look at the condition of the ashtray, under the floor mats. These are less common places for wear and tear, where if you see things wrong in these places, it might point to a machine that's had a harder life than its hours or mileage might indicate. Also, if those things look if the hours and or mileage of the machine seem low for the year, it might indicate that the machine had a high idle time, particularly transportation equipment we're talking about here, potentially more remaining life in an engine if it's idled a lot more than it was driven. Next slide, please. If you're able to start and run the machine, listen to the engine as it runs through a range of RPMs. It may sound fine at idle, but if you're able to listen elsewhere in the band, you might hear something that points to a clue to something else. Again, this is something I spoke to at the top, wear points. Look at the grease points on yellow iron. Was too much grease used? Does it seem excessively greasy, or was too little used? Does it seem excessively dry? Either of these might be an indicator that the machine, again, wasn't cared for as well as you might like, and that might point to wear and tear. But if the grease points look the way that they should, that's a pretty good indicator that you've got a lot of life left in this machine. So that's those are some tips from the inspection experts. Any questions? Of course, I'm happy to answer them as I believe we're popping over to the Q&A portion now, Warren.
Yeah, that's right. Thank you, Marty. So again, just a reminder, if anybody has any questions, please feel free to enter those in the Q&A chat function and we'll do our best to answer them, or we're happy to be contacted by email outside of the call as well. I think there was one question, Lyle, you mentioned that customers can contact you about arranging an inspection by a mechanic with one of the mechanics that you have in Edmonton. Are customers limited to this, or could they also have an inspection with one of their own mechanics that they send to the site on their behalf?
Thanks, Warren. Yeah, absolutely. If you've got a qualified mechanic that you want to come down to the site and inspect the equipment on your behalf, absolutely, you're able to gain access to the yard. We do have some insurance requirements as well that we ask you to follow up with the site in advance. But yes, you can definitely utilize your own mechanical services to inspect the equipment on site.
Excellent, thank you. I'm not seeing any additional questions coming in. So listen, folks, I really wanted to thank you all for attending. I hope the information we provided can be useful to you. You know, we really want our customers to have as much confidence as they can in the items that they're bidding on. We sell a range of equipment, you know, all different vintages and shapes and sizes, and it's about making sure that you're comfortable that the item you're bidding on suits the need that you have for it. So please take advantage of what we've shared here today, as well as any other processes that you like to go through on your quest for new gear. And don't hesitate to reach out to us if there's anything we can do to help out. Again, thank you very much. Take care. Hopefully we'll see you bidding next week. Bye for now.